Hello, everyone. Another beautiful Saturday morning here in Santa Clarita. Thank you, everyone that watched and listened last week for rejoining us, and thank you for everyone new tuning in. I am Stephen Ritt. I am the Doggie Director. I've developed a training method called the Ritt Way. Today I thought we would go a little bit into kind of Doggie 101, you might say, and cover some of the basics. So again, thank you for joining us today. We're going to talk a little bit about getting your dog's attention today. So I know it sounds basic, but remember, if you can't get your dog's attention right away, you can't really teach them anything. So it's a matter of getting your dog's attention and holding your dog's attention before you can really teach them. I mean, I see a lot of people that have supposed trained dogs. They're still wearing pinched collars, prong collars. They're still correcting them a lot, even after they've paid a lot of expensive training. Even service dogs, they're still wearing pinch collars, and they're having difficulty getting their dog's attention right away when they need it. So one of the main things before you can, like I said, you can even teach your dog is to be able to get your dog's attention right away and to hold your dog's attention before you even start giving commands. Later on down the road, we're going to talk about giving individual commands and individual behavioral problems and stuff like that. But today I really want to talk about just how important it is and the tools you have at your disposal to get your dog's attention and to hold your dog's attention. And we're going to start by giving you an example so you can better understand what I'm talking about. I have a lot of clients whose dogs act up when they see other dogs walking down the street, whether it's to play or even dog aggression. And everybody does the exact same thing. I ask them, show me what you're doing now when your dog sees another dog and starts barking or pulling, tugging, getting aggressive. They all pull or correct their dog. It works for about a second. They're able to get the dog's attention somewhat off the distraction, but then the dog just goes right back. They aren't using the tools at their disposal, which I'll explain in a second. They're just relying on the leash and corrections. Remember, people, you have a voice. Talk to your dog. Most people don't talk, and it's almost like a phenomena. 100% of the time. I am not kidding. 100% of the time, no one moves. They keep their feet planted and just keep jerking and pulling the dog. The dog stops for a second and then refocuses. They're having trouble getting and holding their dog's attention. People will tell me, well, Steve, my dog's already trained. He knows sitting down. Yeah, in the four walls of your house, maybe. We're going to deal with real life situations and real training, which includes distractions in everyday life. So it's really important that you're able to get your dog's attention, and you can go to the Doggie Director on Facebook, and there's a show just on the proper use of your dog's name and how to get your dog to run to you as quick as possible just using his name one time. I'm not going to deal with that today since you can go on the Facebook page and listen to that episode. But once you get your dog's attention, I don't want you just to stand still. You call your dog, whether it's using his name or come for now. Move. Nobody does it. Move. Back up. Use your hands. Coax your dog. Draw your dog in. Gradually holding his attention span longer and longer. You got to realize dogs are really smart, but they lack attention span. They're really, really weak attention spans naturally. So one thing you're doing when you're training a dog, besides building their attention span, you're building their IQ also, of course. The more words your dog starts learning, the higher his IQ will become. But you have to start with getting your dog's attention and holding your dog's attention. If you don't have that, you have nothing. You just have a dog listening part of the time. You're sure your dogs might sit, do some commands with half of his attention on you while he's still checking out the other dog, or you might have to repeat commands and jerk him to get it, to do the command and understand what you want. And then you're just seeing his physical body do the action while his mind is still partly somewhere else. Are you starting to understand what I'm talking about now? You really want to harness all of your dog's being into you, focus into you, and learn paying attention is the best thing in the world, and it's fun. So once you call your dog to you, remember, and it takes people a long time to really start utilizing this after I show them even, because they're so stuck into tugging and pulling on the leash, and they feel like that's all they have. When they have their body, they can back up. They have their legs. They have their hands to get the dog's attention, to draw them in and coax them in, whether it's clapping your hands together, whether it's extending your hands and bringing them to you, patting your legs. You can even run for 3 or 4 feet once you correct your dog or once you get his attention away from the distraction, to hold it on you, to start getting him to focus longer and longer on you between the times he refocuses back at the distraction. So when you're at home, start there. Use your dog's name. Get him to come to you as fast as possible. Let him learn his name's a great thing. It makes you so happy. Over-exaggerate your praise. Even teach him a treat comes out afterwards. And then a second treat. Do this at home without distractions to start with. I always like to teach dogs first before I start correcting dogs. Teach them what it is I want. Then they'll do it perhaps 50, 60% of the time. Then, the times they don't, they understand what a correction's for. I see a lot of trainers and people just starting to correct their dog from the top, trying to get their attention. All right. You cause a lot of frustration with animals because they don't understand what they're being corrected for. They really don't get it a lot of the times. And it's the same thing with horses, stallions, aggressive dogs. This can even cause a defensive reflex by correcting them. All they know is someone's being mean to me and this hurts, especially when they got prong collars on. So it's more about getting your dog's attention, getting them to hold it, loving it, that paying attention to you is the best thing in the world. Keep them engaged in you. Then add the distractions. And of course, the more commands your dog learns, the longer he can pay attention, and you'll have what might be more ammunition once you get his attention to hold it. You can give him a sit, down. Hopefully your dog loves doing these things. I like to incorporate a lot of tricks in my training because they're fun, such as speak, sit up, give a foot. Then you have more things to offer your dog to keep his attention on you. I hope this helps you better understand how to get and hold your dog's attention and just how important it really is. The need for that before you even start giving commands, that you have your dog's total attention and he enjoys giving it to you. We're going to go to a break now to our sponsors. Thank you for listening and tuning in to KHTS and the Doggie Director on Facebook, watching us stream live. Glad you could be with us today, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Miles McNamara, Certified Senior Advisor and owner of Comfort Keepers in Home Care. Our caregivers help you in your own home. A Comfort Keeper can provide companionship, meal preparation, medication monitoring, assistance with personal care, transportation to doctor appointments, all enhancing your independence and safety in the comfort and privacy of your own home. So if you or someone you love could use a helping hand at home, call Comfort Keepers at 287-4200. That's 287-4200.
The Santa Clarita Artists Association has a new gallery in downtown Newhall on 6th Street between Main and Railroad, right across from the Canyon Theater Guild. The gallery features our members' paintings, sculptures, and one-of-a-kind handcrafted gift items. Whether you're an art lover, buyer, or an artist wishing to join, visit our website at santaclaritaartist.org, come to our free monthly meetings at Barnes & Noble, or stop by the gallery. For upcoming events and exhibits, check us out at santaclaritaartist.org. We make visual art visible.
Time for a car wash, but fearful of the scratches that go along with it? Canny Car Wash and Valencia Car Wash proudly use 100% lamb's cloth to prevent scratches and provide the best wash possible. Both locations use environmentally friendly solutions to wash and wax your vehicle, and they both accept all other car wash coupons. Give your vehicle the wash it deserves. Visit Canny Car Wash on Soledad across from Edwards Cinema, or Valencia Car Wash on Creekside Road behind Target.
It isn't often when we see a company launch in Santa Clarita and become an international sensation. In 2010, Jen Gerard founded Whitening Lightning in her Valencia kitchen. Now it's a booming international sensation. Leading actresses and international models have switched to Whitening Lightning to avoid the mess, hassle, and sensitivity of other products. Whitening Lightning's simple Dial-A-Smile kit will dramatically turn your teeth whiter in just 20 minutes. Rediscover how white your teeth can look. Visit whiteninglightning.com. whiteninglightning.com.
KHTS.
Welcome back to the Doggie Director with K9 Master Stephen Ritt. Stephen is well known for training animals you see in many movies and sitcoms. Stephen is the creator of the Ritt Way, a training method that works by applying loving and time-tested techniques for a more enjoyable training experience. Lines are open. You can call Stephen at 661-298-5487. That's 661-298-5487. You can listen live online at hometownstation.com. And now, Stephen Ritt, your dog's best friend.
All right, we're back. And we have our first question. It's from Leslie. Leslie made a comment about how people shouldn't let their dog be out of control when they're walking them. Apparently, Leslie's been annoyed with people whose dogs are not under control when they're walking them. And, I don't blame her. I have new dogs that only know dogs as being nice. And all of a sudden, you get out in public and there's people, even places, establishments that allow dogs to eat outside in the patio, and people are bringing aggressive dogs that are out of control. And all of a sudden, they start learning, wow, dogs can single me out and be aggressive. So, number one, if you're walking your dog, be picky and choosy what dogs your dog is around. Avoid dominant type of dogs that will give your dog an understanding that not all dogs are nice. Let them stay in their little fantasy world. Every dog's their friend to start with, especially young puppies that are impressionable, because aggression can beget more aggression. And the fact that they see other dogs out of control, now all of a sudden your dog has a bigger distraction. It can make your dog more aggressive. They growl back. They learn other dogs can be mean. So yeah, people should get their dog more trained before they start coming around in public places close to other dogs. If you have an aggressive dog, you should definitely deal with that. Or an out-of-control dog, you should really work with your dog in a more isolated, quiet place. Put a little bit of time into them in regards to that issue before you start walking them in public or close to other dogs. I mean, it's only common sense, and it seems like it's just respect for other people, too, if you have an aggressive dog, not to be in public in confined areas with your dog where other dogs will be. If you want to teach them to be social, like I said, do the training first before you bring them in public. At least get some basics where if they do act up or get aggressive, it takes a mild correction to let them fall back in place. So I totally agree with you, and it fits into what I was talking about. A lot of people have this problem walking their dogs. The dog encounters other dogs, they're aggressive, they're out of control, and it's all because they're not able to get their dog's attention. I know it sounds basic and simple, but there's so much more to it, so much more importance on it. It really, as I said earlier, you can't train your dog unless you have his attention. Dogs are smart, right? And they will learn. So even though your dog sits, stays, and down, it's still focusing on that other dog. It's still not really paying attention. It's just going through the mechanics of these commands or actions or behaviors. And I have another question. Maria wants to know how to stop her dog from destroying her house when it's left alone. Last week we talked about a lot of destructive behavior comes from boredom. Also, when you're looking at destructive chewing, and especially chewing a lot of different things, I like to tackle two things at once. Because some dogs can have a physiological makeup. They're all different, even if you're feeding good dog food. Their physiological makeup they're not getting something they need in their diet. So I like to use sea kelp And at the same time, I deal with the boredom just in case it is a medical issue and a physiological issue, because dogs will start chewing, licking, eating a lot of different stuff because their body's craving something. They're missing something in their diet. Like I said, even if it's a good dog food. So sea kelp tends to help. They sell it for humans. They sell it as for dogs too. You'll have to look up what brand you might want to use. But I would incorporate at the same time the sea kelp. It takes a couple weeks to get in the system. You also want to get the long leg bone we talked about last week, the femur bone. 2 foot long, from above the ankle to below the knee. Above the knee to below the ankle, rather, I'm sorry. And the size does matter, the psychological effect of the size. And you're only going to give it to your dog when he's left alone. Then you're going to pick it up when you're home, so he always looks forward to getting it. Now, if your dog is chewing everything, you might not want to leave him alone in the house all day. You might start in increments. Get him used to 15 minutes, 20 minutes, a half hour. Build it up. You also need to correct your dog and catch him in the act. Well, you say, Steve, that's hard. I go and then I'm gone. Well, you're going to have to take the time to set up the situation. Curing a lot of behavioral problems, I'll purposely set it up while I'm there. Because how can you deal with it unless you catch him in the act? So we'll set it up. So maybe let your dog think you've left the house, even if it means starting your car and going, quarter way down the block. And catch him, look through the window, come back and catch him in the act. Use the bone, use the sea kelp. If you have a problem and you can't keep them anywhere else besides your house all day, I do not recommend keeping a dog in a crate all day. All right? But any other place to isolate them in the yard or a dog run, depending on the size of your dog, it's more humane than a crate. They don't have to hold it if they have to go to the bathroom. So maybe in the backyard you're putting up a dog run. Maybe you're paying for a dog walker to come a couple times a day if you are keeping them in a crate. And hopefully your crate's big enough where your dog can always stand up with his neck up, his head up, and turn around comfortably. So I don't like recommending crates unless they're used properly. You should always get your dog used to a crate slowly. Get them to like it, associate it as a positive, feed them in there, give them treats, keep the door open. Teach them the door opens after a minute or two and gradually build up the time your dog's in there and get them to like it, to feel comfortable with it. So don't leave your dog all day. If he's definitely got a chewing problem, start with small extensions of time before you build up all day. Get the bone, get the sea kelp, catch him in the act. Don't leave things in his environment he can easily get that are valuable you don't want destroyed. Close bedroom doors. Close closet doors. Pick things up for now. Leave him the bone. The bone works wonder. Repackage it, refreeze it, give it to him only when he's left alone so he has something to do. Like I spoke last week, a lot of behavioral problems stem from boredom. So that's why dogs are either chewing everything up, puppies, of course, teeth, but they're chewing everything up because they're bored, there's nothing to do, and they could have a physiological imbalance where their body is craving something. So we cover all the angles. Catch them in the act, get the bone, to cure the boredom, get the sea kelp. All right, I hope that helps you, Maria, and gives you a little bit of a guideline to go by to get you started, and hopefully your dog will stop destroying your house while he's left alone there. Do we have another question?
Is it ever too late to teach an old dog new tricks?
Well, I think that's more. Oh yeah, we do have a question. Okay, I've seen it, but you haven't heard it. Is it never too late to teach an old dog new tricks? I think it's easier to teach old dogs new tricks than it is to teach old people new tricks, especially if they've been patterned and conditioned one way or taught or trained one way. So yes, of course, certain dogs, certain ages will have physical limitations, but they're never too old to learn. And again, old is relative.